Good morning, and thank you for being with us today. My name is Casey Malouf, and I'm the co-founder of Malouf and chair of the Malouf Foundation. In 2003, my husband Sam and I started a bedding company in little old Cache Valley, where we still are today. And we saw really immediately that bedding fulfilled a primary need for people. People needed comfort when they were in times of difficulty and distress. And so right away after starting our company, we started giving away bedding products to people in need. And we kind of saw that snowball, and we were doing it more and more. And so in 2016, we officially formed a public charity called the Malouf Foundation. And then in 2017, we adopted our flagship cause, which is fighting against childhood sexual exploitation. As parents of 5 children, it was heartbreaking we became educated and aware of what a problem trafficking and childhood sexual exploitation in general is in our community, in our state, in our country. And it was difficult to think about that in relation to our children and how much we love them and how hard it would be to see a child in a situation like that. And so we felt like that was the cause we really wanted to put our weight behind and that we really want to focus on. The Malouf Foundation fulfills our purpose in 3 ways. We focus on education, and we focus on justice, and we focus on healing. And so today I'm really excited to introduce one of our education initiatives, which is our OnWatch training. OnWatch is a survivor-led training, online platform training that's designed to help people recognize and then know how to report suspicious activity, things that don't look quite right in our communities. We've partnered with survivors, we've partnered with industry experts, people who know a lot about trafficking, to make sure that our training is state of the art, it is amazing, and I think it starts with education and awareness. And so our hope is that this movement can snowball. People will take the training, people will be aware of what's going on around them, not just thinking that trafficking happens in another country in some place far away, but recognizing that trafficking is happening here, it's happening in our backyard. And until we start to recognize and report and talk about those issues, things are not going to change in our community. So that is what OnWatch is all about. And we are really honored today to have the Utah Attorney General, Sean Reyes, here. Sean is considered an expert in the field of human trafficking, and he's really leading the fight in Utah and in the nation to create change. He's also a personal friend, and he's been a big supporter of our foundation from the very beginning. So with that, I'll turn it over to Sean, and he's going to talk a little bit more about OnWatch.
Thank you so much, Casey. I'm even more honored to be here with you and with our distinguished guests that we have. Thank you to our media partners who cover this incredibly important work that's done by the Malouf Foundation and so many in the state of Utah and around the country in combating child sexual exploitation and human trafficking, which is certainly a subset of that. Before I read some prepared remarks, I do want to comment and again thank and acknowledge the Malouf Foundation, their entire team. It starts at the top with Casey and Sam. They really set an example of servant leadership with their company. And while their company is a phenomenal economic success, which we're very proud of in the state of Utah, it's what they do with their means to help lift others and bring hope in some very dark situations. That's most impressive to me. They are the perfect partners when it comes to public-private partnerships. They have supported with personnel, with resources, with their time, our children's justice centers, and we were just able to open our 24th Children's Justice Center in the state of Utah in American Fork, and we can't thank them enough. That represents thousands of little ones whose lives have been ruined because of abuse and exploitation, and they're giving them hope. The Malouf Foundation, through their partnership with our CJCs, likewise our Secure Strike Force, which targets human trafficking among other crimes in the state of Utah, and our Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, award-winning task force made up of assets from all different county, city, state, federal, tribal partners to combat any type of sexual exploitation and abuse or other crimes against children perpetrated primarily cyber and online. Trafficking is not only a problem facing developing countries, it exists in every state of the union. It exists right here. In 2018, the State Department's Trafficking in Persons Office reported that the U.S. is in, anyone want to guess, in terms of ranking, in the top 3 for trafficking amongst all nations. Hundreds of thousands of American children are victimized each year, many at the hands of their own families. These victims may desperately want to escape their situation, but for a whole host of reasons, they may not even self-identify as victims. That's why we must be the voice for these children. OnWatch, I'm so excited about this program, and so is the White House. Was on just a couple days ago, yesterday, with Heather Fisher, who's the lead against human trafficking for the White House. And she's thrilled about this program. In fact, they're doing a simultaneous launch of the program in Washington, D.C., or relaunch of the program, if you will. OnWatch, ladies and gentlemen, will teach you to spot, report, and prevent trafficking and empower you to be an advocate for survivors. I'm going a little off script, if you can tell, but people ask all the time, what can I do? What role can I play in fighting this evil institution of modern day slavery? Well, this is something that you can all do. You can download the app. You can educate yourselves and your loved ones and start to be our eyes and ears all around the world, wherever you travel, and particularly right here at home. I invite each of you to be on watch. And that's the power of that name, and that's what we hope to marshal, the collective force and might of all of you being on watch and protecting our children here in Utah and in America. So please join the OnWatch movement to eradicate sex trafficking in the United States. Thank you for being here again. God bless each and every one of you. Have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you so much to Sean. We really appreciate his leadership and support. So my name is Jake Neely. I'm the executive director of the Malouf Foundation and one of those behind OnWatch. So like Casey mentioned, OnWatch is training to help educate people to recognize the signs of trafficking and what to do if you see it, especially in America, in the United States right here. It's the only training written and educated and supported by actual survivors themselves. And like was mentioned before, it is free, it's online. Anyone visiting iamonwatch.org can access that training today. So we encourage everyone to visit iamonwatch.org for that. We've collaborated closely with Safe House Project, and OnWatch is the joint collaboration of Malouf Foundation and Safe House Project. Now, Safe House Project is an incredible national organization that exists to help confront trafficking domestically. They work with survivors across the United States and develop a safe house network that helps them heal on their path to recovery. And together, the information that we provide is not only timely, but relevant and accurate. So we work with many third-party resources to validate the information that's shared. And in today's marketplace, in today's communities, trafficking is absolutely an issue. It's not always widely understood, and sometimes misinformation abounds. And so OnWatch brings the correct information together in the right place to educate us on what it actually looks like here in the United States, as General Ray has already stated. But above all of these resources we validate, we respect the authority of survivor voices more than anything else. And these survivors that have contributed to the traffic to OnWatch have made a massive impact. And as you do the training, you'll see what that means. So it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of Safe House Project, Christy Wells, who will now share a few of the goals we've created with OnWatch, as well as our collaboration with the survivors.
Good afternoon. My name is Christy Wells, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Safe House Project. With this new platform, OnWatch, as Jake said, go to iamonwatch.org to be able to download or access the training. But with this new training, we have a goal of reaching 10,000 people a month. Quite honestly, I think we're going to surpass that really quickly, but that's our first goal. We want to make sure that everybody is equipped to spot and report and prevent trafficking. We want to make this the #1 resource for trafficking content and survivor-informed content in America. That's so important to make sure that we are empowering the survivors' voices, because what more of an expert can you get when it comes to the subject of trafficking? We also plan to develop and deploy specialized training for the top 15 industries that are the largest intersections with trafficking victims. Now, a great example of this would be the hospitality industry, or healthcare, or the trucking industry. If you look over, you see a truck that is branded with "I am on watch." We are so excited about this because corporate America has such a valuable space in combating trafficking. The one that we're the most excited about and the very first OnWatch corporate partner is a company called Forshaw. It doesn't sound like much, but they are the #1 pest management distributor in the United States. But they have come to us to develop a survivor-informed training on how 160,000 pest management technicians nationwide can spot, report, and prevent trafficking, as they are going into 20 to 30% of homes in America. They're rolling this out to the entire pest management industry, and that is going to make a difference. Survivors will be identified because of the very first corporate partner engaging in the fight. And we are so excited for an army of other corporate partners that are going to be coming behind this vertical specific training of OnWatch. Like Jake mentioned, OnWatch is the very first and the only anti-trafficking training that is written by survivors. That is the thing that makes the difference, and that is what makes this training so impactful. Throughout the training, you're going to hear true experiences from several survivors, and each story sheds light on what trafficking really looks like in America. It's, as they have all mentioned, it's really easy to think that trafficking involves somebody snatching your child and running away with them. But when we understand what it really looks like in our own communities, we can rescue our kids, sons, daughters, neighbors, those that are in our churches or in our faith communities, those that we might engage with on the sports fields. We have the ability to see those who are most vulnerable and step in and report it and to make a difference. So as I said, the survivor-informed part of the OnWatch training is what makes it so impactful. So I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Julie Whitehead. Julie contributed to the OnWatch training, but today she is here to support OnWatch as a survivor of sex trafficking. So Julie?
It's an honor to be here today representing trafficking survivors across the country. I was born in Utah. I grew up here. I have lived here my entire adult life. And I was also trafficked here. I lived in a place that I thought was safe from something so horrible, but trafficking found me. I was 30 years old. I was a mother of 3. I lived in a nice neighborhood. I had kind neighbors. I shopped at the grocery stores, the hair salons, the local shops like everyone else. I volunteered with the PTA and in my children's classrooms. I worked as a preschool teacher. I made small talk with the other mothers, and I walked my kids to and from school. But on the weekends, I was blackmailed, drugged, and taken to unknown locations across the state and into others. Many people saw me during these horrific trips at gas stations, truck stops, restaurants, hotels, and en route to our destination. But they either didn't know what they were seeing or they didn't want to get involved. And honestly, I don't really blame them, because before this happened to me, I wouldn't have known what I was witnessing either. We cannot see what we're not looking for. Traffickers live among us, and whether we like it or not, these predators are in our backyards. But the evil of trafficking will not prevail against communities armed with awareness, sensitivity, and the knowledge of how to prevent, protect, and put an end to this suffering. That's what makes OnWatch so powerful. It trains regular people to be heroes, to know what to look for, and to know what to do when they see it. If my neighbors and others in my community had been on watch, my nightmare may have ended sooner. Unfortunately, there are many more victims out there, but you can help them to escape their horrible reality by becoming OnWatch certified. And I'm thankful to share that I was seen by many, ignored by most, and saved by one. Thank you.